All right, what are some proven tactics to fire an employee? This is a tough question, but we're going to talk about it today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by AskaHouseCleaner, which is a training program for house cleaners and maids, and sometimes we go into the really nitty-gritty of how to fire employees and how to hire employees and where to find good employees and how to advertise your company and all those things. But today we're going to do a quick little breakdown on 7 surefire tactics to fire an employee because it's going to happen sooner or later. So check out more of the training on savvycleaner.com. All right, on to today's show, which is from a house cleaner. And she hates it, but she's going to have to fire an employee. So what do? All right, well, the very first thing that you do is you make sure 100% in your head and your heart that that's what you're supposed to do. So if you know you've got to fire an employee, the next thing is to move very swiftly. When you are 100% sure that you're going to fire an employee, don't lollygag, don't loiter, don't waste time. Because every day that you keep an employee on and you keep giving them extra chances, if you know they're not going to work out. If you're not sure and you're giving them chances, that's one thing. But if you know they're not going to work out, move swiftly and end it so they can move on with their life and they can get the job that best suits them. All right, so once you've determined that you're going to fire them, you need to check with your local state to find out the employee laws, because employee laws vary from state to state, and we don't want to get you in trouble and we don't want to get you sued because you let somebody go prematurely that wasn't ready to go. All right, so once you're familiar with your laws, the next thing I would recommend is a termination letter. The termination letter is going to state specifically why you're letting them go, and I don't mean in specific terms of you screwed up last Friday at 3 p.m. What I mean is you're being let go on performance issues. And so you just want to keep that part very broad, but then be very specific about the rest of it. Effective on such and such a day, your termination will be, and then here's what happens moving forward. Now, I don't know what your policies are in your company, whether or not you have benefits or you have paid time off or whatever. That all needs to be spelled out. There also needs to be a contact information in there in case the employee has questions and or they decide to pursue further action and somebody needs to give you a call, like maybe their attorney. So you want to have that all in writing. And I recommend it in writing because what's in writing can't be misconstrued. Now, when you actually have the conversation with the employee, emotions are going to be running really high. And oftentimes we go into that fight or flight mode and we don't pay attention to the actual words. And so if you have a script to go by, which is your termination letter, and then you can give it to them, that a copy of that also goes in their employee file, but that will keep you on book. All right, our arguments about do you let somebody go on Friday or do you let them go on Monday? The argument for Friday is, well, it's the end of the week, they got paid, and now they go home and they never come back. The bad news about that is you have the entire weekend where the rest of your team is not with you. And so that person can go home and they can fire off emails and do this big social media blitz where they're angry and they rant and whatever. Then come Monday, all the employees that come back are going to be like angry and unsure, and are they going to lose their jobs, and is this massive downsizing, or what's happened, and was it fair, and all these things. So the preferred method and what I suggest is the first thing Monday morning. I know that's rude, get somebody up first thing Monday morning, have them come in and then let them go. But that gives them all day, they're already up and dressed, they already are alert and awake, and now they can spend the rest of the day looking for a new job. Also, if they have questions or whatever, it's going to give them a chance to mull over their questions, and they can come back to you the same day during the business day, and you can answer the questions. Okay, so having said that, once you've decided you're going to fire them and you have your termination letter and you've called them in on Monday morning, the next thing that I recommend is that you don't play nice. And I want you to be friendly and I want you to be nice, but I don't want you to be general and vague and, this just isn't working out for us, and, you go on a half-hour dissertation or any of those things. Cut right to the point. This is the time where you have to buck up and you have to do something ugly because you're cutting off someone's income. And so you have to just very quickly, very concisely say, hey, I'm so glad you came in today. And the reason I called this meeting is because today is your last day here. And then be very brief. As you know, performance issues have been an issue over the last couple of months. And so today is your last day. And here's what's going to happen next. And then go right into what's going to happen next. I'm going to follow you out to get the rest of your cleaning supplies out of your car. I have a paycheck for you today. And then I would like to set an appointment for next week when I can answer all of your questions. And the reason I recommend it next week is because that's going to give both of you a chance to kind of get this off of your chest. Because like I said, emotions are running high for both of you. And this is not the time when you want to sit there and you want to answer questions, because a lot of them will turn to accusations. You know, well, are you letting me go because I'm too old, or because of race, or because of whatever? And they will get all upset about one thing or another. This is not the time you want to say any of those things. You don't want to address any of those issues today. So listen, I value your input and I value your questions. Today is not the day for us to answer the questions. Please think about it for a couple of days. Write all of your questions down. And then I would like to set a coffee chat where we can sit down and I can answer all of those and give them the time and energy that they deserve. Okay, so then what happens is you're going to send them away and they have a chance to kind of mull through things and kind of take the hit and figure out what's going to happen next. All right, once you send them home, as you send them out the door, you need to collect all their stuff. So there's a final exchange. You give them their paycheck, you collect all your cleaning supplies, you make sure that everything is T's crossed, I's dotted, everything is appropriate so that when they leave, they're not leaving with security passwords from your internet or from your business, or they're not leaving with customers' house keys or any of those things, right? So you want to make sure you close everything out on their way out the door. And then the final step is that you sit down with the current employees that you have and you say, hey, listen, guys, we're making a few changes in the business, and today we let Shelly go, or whoever it is that you let go. We let her go. It's not about you. It's between me and her, and it's all been resolved. I just want you to know that your jobs are safe. It's not anything that, you know, is company-wide. I just wanted you to be aware of it, because we're going to have to make some internal changes as far as teams go so that all the jobs are still covered. And then don't go into any specifics. Don't badmouth Shelly. Don't give any bad news. Don't give details, right? That's between you and her. Just be very brief and just say, hey, this is what happened. Then if your employees hear about it on social media, they're going to know that, hey, what had to be done had to be done. All right, so those are some surefire tactics that are going to help the process go smoothly. And I say smoothly because nobody likes to do the firing thing. It's probably the hardest thing that you will ever do as a business owner, is to sit down and to fire someone and to take away and cut off their income. And so nobody likes it. Bosses hate it, managers hate it, and the employees hate it. But when you do it very briefly, do it very concisely, go through the steps, be very succinct about it, be exact in what you say, and then let that be enough, okay? So that's a little bit about how to fire an employee. All right, I hope this helps. If you found this helpful, please pass it on to a friend. If you have questions, please, in the notes below, we're answering all kinds of questions right now. You can also tag into the show on AskaHouseCleaner.com. There's a little blue button. You click on the button and it sends your questions to us right here at the show. All right, until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.